Time travel, one of the most appealing, humanity's fascination about time travel. Where did it begin? Why is it so appealing? The concept of time travel, moving through time, the way we move through three-dimensional space, may in fact be hardwired into our own perception of time. What does Sanatan Hindu Dharma say about time travel? What do the Vedas state? Puranic concepts of time as an active potency of the Supreme which manipulates the material energy can appear incompatible with Einstein's analysis of time as a geometric coordinate in the fabric of space. The references for this subject: SRIMADBHAGAVDPURANA, Vishnu Puran, Brahma Samhita, DEVIBHAGAVAT, Bhagavad Gita, and Mahabharat. What is this interstellar time travel? Some of us have heard or know about it already. Let's start with time dilation, concept that stems from Einstein's theory of relativity. What it means is, due to the difference in the gravitational field in different regions of the universe, time tends to flow differently. It flows slower for regions of space which have a strong gravitational field and faster in other places. A concept like that of time dilation has been part of stories mentioned in the Sanatan Vedic Hindu Dharma scriptures such as the Purans, the epics, the Mahabharat, Ramayana from about 2,500 years ago. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together from the duration of Brahma's one day, which equals to 4.32 billion years. And such also is the duration of his night. Bhagavad Gita. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 8. That which the Vedantis describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 8. One such story is about the very first time travel stories that recorded in the history appears in the Mahabharat. It's written approximately 400 BC. It's a story about a king, his daughter, and their search for a perfect suitor. Revati was the only daughter of King Kukudmi, a powerful monarch who ruled Kushasthali, a prosperous and advanced kingdom under the sea. Thinking no one could prove to be good enough to marry his beautiful daughter, Kukudmi took Revati with him to Brahmalok, the home of Brahma, to ask the gods' advice about finding a suitable husband for her. Brahma was listening to a musical performance when they arrived, and so they waited patiently until the performance was over. Finally, King Kukudmi humbly bowed before Brahmaji and made his request. O Brahma, to whom shall I betroth this daughter of mine? I have come to ask you on this point. I have searched for many princes and seen also a good many of them, but none of them is to my liking, and so my mind is restless. Brahma smiled and said, O king, the princes that you thought would become the bridegroom of your daughter all died, their sons and grandsons and their friends, even all of them have passed away. Brahma then goes on to explain. Time runs differently on different planes of existence. During the time they had waited in Brahmalok to see BRAHMAJI, 27 Chaturyugas had passed away on earth. Everything that Kukudmi had and owned, his friends, his family, his sons, his wife, his armies and treasures had vanished with the time that passed. The king and his daughter were overcome with astonishment and grief for everything they had lost. But Brahma comforted them and recommended a worthy husband currently on earth. Balram, the brother of Sri Krishna, is how similar their view of the time was 2,500 years ago to how physicists and astronomers conceptualize space-time today. In the theory of relativity, as proposed by Albert Einstein, time is relative to the observer's frame of reference. It depends on the observer's motion and strength of gravity. Example, one could argue that time here on Earth runs slower than in space because gravity slows the passage of time. In the same way, Einstein says time is relative to the observer's frame of reference. It depends on the observer's motion. Brahma tells the father and daughter. The Sanatana Vedic Hindu philosophy was familiar with the concept that time is relative. Many passages on the Vedic scriptures continuously point out that the cosmic time of the gods is different than the time on earth. Were King Kukudmi and his daughter unwitting time travelers? What they thought were just minutes in front of God Brahma, millennia had taken place at home. And when they came back, they did so to a vastly different place. And back on earth, the king and Revati find everything totally changed. The king and his daughter still managed to find Lord Balram and explained everything to him, accepted Revati as his wife. There is also one other point. Rishi Munis of that time knew about the idea of time travel and time dilation well before the current modern day, and is admirable to say the least. Time travel and Hinduism goes a long way back into time.